your jaws.
Put the gun down before you kill someone.
Teenage Girl's Diary.
Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we are the Newlydeads.
Surrounded by dogs.
If this is your first time watching us, hello and welcome. We do record this in our home, so there may be some dog sounds, barking, water drinking, random dogs jumping on laps.
Things falling off of the walls, chains
now.
rattling, various and sundry sorts of haunted house types of sounds.
Ask and you shall receive.
But, it's just the home life. But yeah, Bailey apparently wants to sit with me, so I guess
here we
Bailey
go. This is Bailey, a dog.
You've met Bailey before.
This show is not about dogs, though.
Nope.
No. What is this show about, Joel?
This is our weekly show here on our lovely home on Tingler Television, where we talk about films that we've purchased at the Dollar Tree. And so initially that was the concept, but we've kind of broadened that just a little bit to say, as long as the movie's under $5 and we find it somewhere such as a Dollar Tree or another location where
garage
questionable
sale
movies may be sold.
Garage sale.
Flea markets. If you've made a film or you have a film you think we should really talk about, hit us up at contact@thenewlydeads.com. We would be happy to take that into consideration. But we watch the film 99% of the time. It's something we've never seen before. And then we do this. We talk about it.
Yeah. And I'm going to say 99% of the time the Dollar Store movies are not the greatest movies on the planet.
We've had a couple of successes, and they're,
more like because they're like so cheesy or so campy that they're like actually funny, and we enjoyed watching it because it was like a train wreck, but like a fun train wreck.
But
where no one got murdered or killed.
We did also find, I found, a couple of Doctor Who things there. We found some other, comedy movies that we've enjoyed. So it's, it's not all negative.
No.
And there's some movies in that little magical container over there that you can't see that I'm very excited to see at some point. But everything is randomized. In the sky. So isn't that a song?
Container in the Sky. It is now.
I love that song.
Yeah. I'm going to start singing it later.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. So this week we watched a movie that I had high hopes for because it is starring one of my favorite actors, Mr. Gary Oldman. When I was writing it down the other day, I accidentally just wrote down Goldman. G. Oldman.
So if he has brothers, are they the old men?
Maybe.
Is that how it works?
Maybe.
High five, Bailey. Oh, he left me hanging.
No high five. He's like, I'm on camera, sir. There's no high five.
He's being professional.
He's being very professional. No.
Also...
So Gary Oldman is the main little dude on the cover there, and then Emily Mortimer is his co-star. You might know her from a little show called Friends, where she actually played, I believe, Emily, right?
Yeah.
Ross's
fiance.
Scorned. Is that the right word? Scorned. Yeah.
He didn't pivot. And
we're not gonna spoil it in case you haven't watched Friends, but
if you haven't,
Ross, one of Ross's loves.
Yeah, they weren't even on a break. But yeah, those are the two primary stars. That and the boat.
Yeah, the boat is a major character. Yeah, that damn boat. There's like, a pretty small cast other than that. Like there's, a couple other people.
Two kids, the boyfriend, the guy that works like on the dock thing.
And like the boss, and that's pretty much it.
Oh yeah, Jennifer Esposito is also in it if you're a fan of like 2000s to 2000 now's movies.
Yeah.
You probably know who Jennifer Esposito is.
Yeah.
Fine actress, just plays a fairly small role as a police officer, but
yeah,
she kind of ties it all together.
She does tie it all together.
Bailey's a fan. He actually has seen all her films.
Yeah. He's a fan of Zito.
He's a fan of Zito. Sounds like something you eat at an Italian restaurant.
Yes. I would like some Fantasito with some ziti.
With I was gonna say Farfalle Pasta. Is that how you say it?
Farfall.
Farfall. That's another movie title. We're gonna do that movie later. That's not true.
Some, eggplant parmigiana.
I like eggplant parmesan.
I'm hungry. It's
we
dinner
haven't
time.
eaten yet. This guy's eaten. They've eaten. The other dogs, but not us. But anyway, it's directed by Michael Goy, who I thought I had kept track of his movie title. So I'm gonna pull up my notes here. He did a movie called Voyeur, which was from 1996, kind of a Skinamax thing, a little, but it had higher ratings than Mary, if you believe it. And he also did Megan is Missing, which I saw on demand after it came out many years ago, it seems like. It's not bad. It's a little disturbing because of the subject matter. It's about kidnapping of teenage girls, but it's kind of become a bit of an underground sort of cult horror thing now. The writer for this was Anthony Jasinski, who's done actually pretty well-known things. Vanishing on 7th Street, which is about the city of Detroit where everybody just kind of disappears one day for the most part, and they're trying to figure out why. Christie, about a girl who's stays at her college during Thanksgiving holiday and gets stalked by some mad men people. And The Shallows, which...
I've seen The Shallows.
I like shark movies.
That is one winner that I have seen, yes.
I enjoy a good shark film. And
that was pretty good.
Mr. Ryan Reynolds, his wife is the lead. And it's on the shelf over here. You can't see the shelf.
What?
What?
Mr. Ryan Reynolds' wife is the lead.
Mrs. Blake Lively.
There you go.
Who's Ryan Reynolds' wife, yeah.
Right.
They're
but
two
he didn't even
entities.
say her name. Like, just like...
Well, everybody knows Ryan Reynolds. They don't all know Blake Lively as much. They should.
True. That is not true.
She's fantastic. I'm a fan.
But a lot of people know who Blake Lively is.
Fair enough.
Mr. You said Mrs.
And there's a shark.
There is a shark.
There is a shark.
So let's start talking more about Mary, and we're going to show you a clip so that way you can get... Oh, yeah. I always say clip.
You always say clip. It's okay.
It's a clip.
At some point, if we stretch this show out or we change formats...
Maybe there will be some clippies.
We'll throw some clips in.
Trailer. We're gonna show you the trailer, which is clips of the movie.
That's fair.
Yeah. And yeah, so you can get a feel of what we're going to talk about. So...
We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
In this boat, I see our future.
It's a 50-year-old catch, and it needs work.
I thought this was something we could finally make ours. Something that could take us to a better place.
Yeah!
Mary has an imaginary friend now. I hear her talking to her all night. Don't play with scary Mary.
Mary! Something's very, very wrong here. I'm seeing things that I can't explain. Every time this ship went out onto open water, people disappeared.
The thing about boats is there's nowhere to run.
Dad! We should turn back.
We're too far to turn back.
You think you can erase the past?
I don't want to hear any more about curses.
Oh my God.
You thought you could bring your family to the sea. You and everything you love.
No! Lindsay!
It all belongs to her now.
Mary! Mary, come on. Mary!
And we're back. What did you think of the trailer?
You don't need to see the movie. If you just watch the trailer, that's pretty much the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the acting is great. right? The budget, I feel like, is a higher budget than most of the dollar store things that we watch. But it was just lacking something. Like, the writing was disjointed a little bit, right? Like, you see kind of like how the movie ends in the beginning, and then it just kind of works itself backwards. And I feel like it's a very short film. It was less than an hour and a half.
Less than an hour and a half, but it felt
which
like
is never
it was
a good thing.
2.5 hours, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it felt way longer than what it actually was.
It's not easy to do that.
It's not very scary.
No. They try to throw a couple jump scares in there, but they don't really work. And
they're predictable.
It's interesting when you have a movie about a ghost boat, ghost ship, a ghost in general, where it's a masthead on the masthead on the ship is essentially what's causing it's got this Mary person attached to it, and she has everybody that's on the ship has sailed off and disappeared or
it was
been
from like the
whatever
1400s or something.
Yeah, it's
crazy,
pretty friggin' old, but
just the little masthead thing,
right?
Yeah, just the siren lady.
But in the whole point of it, that was a good point. It was basically the mermaid's curse again.
Well, so the whole beginning, there's like a little blurb that comes up. You know how sometimes movies will start with a quote or whatever,
right?
And it was a quote about there once was a witch that got drowned at sea and like turned into a siren, and now she's luring thee, like, kind of a thing.
And we had a flashback to a fistful of ham. If you've seen our previous episodes, you'll know what I'm talking about.
But I was like, oh my god, it's like the mermaid's curse, And I was like, it's, a witch drowned at sea, whatever.
Ham.
But like, they don't, they say that little quote in the beginning, but then they don't really tie that in very well.
It's not really referenced, and you do see Mary, and incidentally, the youngest girl's, the daughter's name is also Mary, which is a little confusing. But you see the ghost like 4 times. Once in complete shadow, once for a split second when there's a lighter involved, once you only see from like the neck down. My eyes are up here, buddy. And the other time is when they take a photo, and we had to literally, I've got a photo of it on my phone, which I may or may not put here.
It is a flash, like you can't even see that it's a face like on the phone, and they don't quite, so like people get kind of possessed a little bit, but like,
yeah, the rules are a little,
you can't tell if they're actually possessed or if they're just kind of going insane. Like, it just
you can have a movie where you don't show, where you just tell and no show, but if you're gonna do it, commit to one or the other. Don't half-ass it. And I don't know whether it was a budgetary thing or a directorial decision, but I was more interested because some of the images that we do see of the Mary are kind of scary, and I'm like, well, maybe it would have been more beneficial if you would have seen that a little more. Or the little girl kind of gets sort of possessed. Maybe something would have changed with her a little more. They would have whited her eyes out or something just to creep it up.
They did have her like have some night terrors and stuff like that, but
it looked more like she just ate too many pixie sticks.
I feel like they spent a lot of time in the beginning like trying to kind of half-ass explain like why they decided to buy a boat to begin with,
which was that I'm surprised those two are still married.
I don't sometimes when you try to do a backstory, sometimes you don't need a backstory.
No.
In this case,
just go.
I don't feel like you need a backstory.
Or do the exposition throughout the film instead of doing it top loading it.
Yeah.
Just bits and pieces. Like when they were going through all the random ass pile of documents that they seem to just have on the boat for some reason.
They first of all, the boat was a literal ghost ship, right? It was like floating in the middle of the sea. Like people found it. It was barnacles and like just a moldy piece of crap, right? And this guy's like, oh, this reminds me of when I was a child.
Is that your
That's Gary Oldman. I was a child, and I'm gonna fix this boat now. And so I'm like, okay, great, you know, but like...
They sell their cars. They basically put all of the money they have into this boat that's got a horrible history that's a piece of crap.
Yeah. I don't
Hey,
get...
Be nice.
I don't know. I don't get why you have to do some of the backstory, right? Like, I get that, you know, if he saw this boat and he was like, great, you know, I'm going to take my family on a vacation or a trip or whatever. But, I mean, I don't know. It just was like too much, too boring. And I'm sorry if this is like your jam. This might be your favorite movie. You might be like, Mary is the best movie ever written. Gary Oldman is like, I love Gary Oldman. So like,
and right now you're like, Mary, Mary, why you bugging?
That's what you were singing all night last night, weren't you?
You were singing it, I
I
thought.
was singing it.
Yeah. As we were watching it, we periodically break into song.
Yeah. Lay down, Shaggy.
And Mary by Stone Temple Pilots didn't really fit, so we were singing
Mary what?
Stone Temple Pilots, you know.
Oh, yes.
But anyway, yeah, there's definitely some issues because Gary Oldman is a phenomenal actor. Emily Mortimer is fine in her own right, as is
And
Jennifer
they did fine.
Esposito. But
yeah, they did fine.
yeah, they didn't
I just
have a lot to work with.
exactly.
You
That's
know?
exactly right. I like I said, I just don't like the fact that they showed you in the beginning kind of how it ended, right? Like I wish they would have built up to that. The whole thing with Jennifer Esposito, right?
Yeah.
Is she's a cop. So you already know somebody survives because she's like interviewing them and like what is that? Like where they're like
It's interrogation.
interrogating,
Yeah, they're in the
interrogating
police
them, not
office,
interviewing.
police,
She's
station.
interrogating this person until, you know, and so you like know something bad happened. You the whole like you hear an explosion, the whole boat explodes. And then she's interviewing this person or interrogating this person, and I don't quite understand why. Why is she being so, like, a boat blew up in the middle of the ocean, and this is, like, one surviving person. So
Well-
why are you, like, being so mean to her, them?
And they established that the daughters are still alive.
Right.
Yeah, she keeps saying you want to see your girls, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or she has to see her girls.
And then she's like, yeah, you've committed murder. Like,
There's only 3 people that die.
I was on a boat that exploded. Why would you think that I'm trying to murder someone? I'm injured. My kids are injured. Like, let me see my kids. Like, it was very, very, not needed. It was not needed. Like, if they would have just left that out and went with the whole, we got on a boat. It's a haunted boat. It's a creepy boat. Maybe a storm comes and, like, it's rocking the boat and, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And there's a lot of other ways they could have handled
could have
it.
done stuff creepier with, like, the kid. Because, like, the girl's boyfriend was on there.
Yeah.
They got rid of him real
Pretty
fast
quick.
off of it. And, like, then they pick up his shipmate guy, first mate guy.
yeah,
And he
yeah.
knew, right? And he was kind of being creepy, but, like,
And
they
then
could have done more
They got
with
rid of
that.
him, too. Why are you licking my hand?
Well, they could have done more with all of that. I feel like it was just, like... Yeah. It was just lacking. It makes me sad.
Well, and I wrote some notes here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that we're missing here. But, I mean, like I said, the actors were fine. The cinematography was good. That's the one thing I keep coming back to in most of these films is that whoever is behind the camera seems to be the most competent people sometimes as far as what is going on.
The shots are beautiful. Like, I feel like, yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's just not a good movie.
I wanted more ghost, less boat. Like, there's a lot of boat and not a lot of ghost.
And it's real short, so it's like not even a lot of boat or a ghost. Oh, everything they love belongs to her now.
And not to
They didn't build her up enough.
No, and not to spoilerize anything.
Spoilerize.
But at the end, they knocked the masthead off. I don't remember if that was intentional or not. Emily Mortimer knocks it off. And it sinks to the bottom. That seems to end the ghosting part. And so I don't know why they didn't somehow explain in all their exposition. Add another 20 minutes to the movie, 15 minutes. You could have somehow tied together that, like, maybe something horrific happened and the blood of Mary seeped into the pores of the the masthead, and so now it's wherever it goes. It's
why is this
cursed.
masthead? They didn't do any of that. Like, none of the backstory on that. Like, I want to know the backstory of, like, the person. Like, they were talking about the ship and how the ship, like, was like, you know, people kept disappearing, and like they're in the Bermuda. They're going to Bermuda, so maybe it's the Bermuda Triangle. Like, but yeah, like, and it says, you know, the little thing. What is that? The tagline or whatever.
The
evil
synopsis, the plot.
No, evil lies just beneath the surface.
Tagline. Yeah, there was nothing beneath the surface. So they showed a outline of Mary at one point out on the water. But she wasn't. She was above water. She wasn't under the water. She never came from under the water. She never. Yeah, we've seemed to have a trend here with the movies we've been watching where they keep talking about things are underneath. Like in The Marshes, they said, you know, evil lurks beneath or whatever. There was nothing under the water.
Who keeps coming up with these taglines? Like, are you even watching the show? Like, I think that they're just, you know, it's a ship movie, so I'm gonna pretend that it's evil is underneath the surface of the water, even though it's not. I just, it's just, it's underwhelming.
Yes. We were not overwhelmed, we were underwhelmed.
Yes. Whelming.
I like saying whelmed.
So do I. I was, like, thinking about it this morning. I was like, I'm going to talk about being whelmed.
Whelmed.
I think Bailey looks whelmed. Are you whelmed?
I think Bailey's just, like, wondering what is going on. He likes to be in all the videos as much as possible. If you go back and look at our stuff on our YouTube channel at YouTube/@thenewlydeads.com.
He loves being on camera.
He's
fascinated by the lights, I think.
I think he just wants to be an influencer. Are you? Do you want to be an influencer?
He's like, stop harshing my mellow, man. I'm just chilling. He keeps doing like this little cute eye shut.
Apparently, he's enjoying my Target discount cardigan.
So
anyway.
Should we give a rating?
Yeah, we probably should, because, you know, it's around that time. So what are we rating and what's the system for
one out of 5, right? Or whatever, like 1 to 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you.
It came out like, sorry. Can you edit that out?
No. That's gold right there.
Achoo!
Somebody's going to make that their ringtone.
No one wants that to be their ringtone. Sorry. Yes, so let us do 1 out of 5 mastheads.
I figured that's where you're probably going.
There's nothing to grab onto on this movie. Or siren tattoos, I guess, because the kid had a siren tattoo.
Dude got the siren tattoo. Like, it seemed like he got it right before they left, but I don't think so. I think he just had it. It was just coincidental. I don't know what you were thinking, Mr. Jazowinski. Anyway, so 1 out of 5 mastheads. I'm going to have to give it... Wow. I guess I'll give it 1 for the cinematography and the acting, but... I feel a little bit dirty saying that, to be honest.
I feel like I've been pretty harsh on, like, a lot of the movies that we've been watching. And, like, you know, I've given, like, 0.25s and, like, 0.5s and stuff like that.
You like doing the halves and the quarters.
Yeah, I'm going to do 1.5.
Whoa.
Yes.
You're above me. That's
because I'm giving Gary Oldman and Emily Mortimer 1 star, like, for them, you know, a whole star. Because, like, their, you know, acting was great. And then half for the rest of it.
Yeah, no stars for the boat.
No stars for the boat.
The boat was underwhelming. Underwhelming.
Underwhelming.
Bailey was even underwhelmed.
Neither whelmed or
he. Yeah. So at this point in the show, what we typically do is my lovely wife Laura will turn to me and say, "Hey, if they want to watch something better, what would you recommend?" And she doesn't say it exactly like that. But
kind of.
Sometimes she sneezes it. But she'll ask me to throw something out there, and I'll pick something out of my knowledge of film. But this one also has a knowledge base that is deep and wide. And this week, she's picking the film. So, Laura, what film did you pick this week that they should watch that's better than this one?
It's definitely better than this one. It may not be on anyone's top, like, 5 movies of all time, but
you'd be surprised.
I have seen this movie more times than I care to say, because it's one of those movies that I can just watch and like I enjoy it.
It's like a fun.
He's not a fan of it. It is the, what year was it?
2002.
2002.
Yep, I've got the
little
stats here.
little C
little scene
C
shanty.
movie. Ghost Ship.
Ghost Ship.
I think the reason I like this so much, when I first started watching it, I rented it. I want to say I rented it from like Blockbuster, and my friend and I were at my apartment, and I was like, let's watch Ghost Ship. If you've seen this movie, how it starts in the beginning, it's just like, it looks like a Disney film, and like it's got like this like
soft lens, you know.
No, it's like Ghost Ship.
Yeah.
So it looks like a 1950s like.
Oh right.
Do you remember that?
I've seen it twice.
And then it like all like hell breaks loose like within the first like 5 minutes or whatever.
Admittedly, it is a great opening.
I love the opening. The opening is amazing. And then it just like, to me, I just love it. I love it.
And that's okay.
I've looked at the cover before. It's got a hologram of like a skull on a ship.
Reticular.
But I never realized if on the bottom of it says "See Evil" and it's spelled S-E-A. See Evil.
That's clever.
I love it.
So directed by Steve Beck.
Yep. He also did 13 Ghosts. I know that is a cult classic for a lot of people. Like, I know tons of people that love 13 Ghosts. It's like their favorite movie.
Mark Hanlon only has one other credit. He's one of the screenwriters.
Yeah. The producers are Joel Silver, Robert Zemeckis, and Gilbert Adler. So,
I think it was one of the...
those are big names. House on Haunted
Ghost House Pictures or one of those. I forget the company at that point that was doing a lot of these movies back in the early 2000s that are now kind of looked at as culty, fun stuff, but at the time... Anyway, the other writer...
Yeah, this to me, though, is like definitely, I found a ship floating in the sea, and it's definitely creepy AF.
It's haunted.
Yeah.
John Pogue did all the Skulls movies, Rollerball, U.S. Marshals. So, you know, he's got some other... There's some you know, decent credits behind it. Whether I like it or not, it's inconsequential.
Yeah.
I like a lot of stuff she doesn't, and vice versa.
I mean, it's got like an okay rating, right? We always say that if it's over 5, right, for a horror movie, then it's like pretty decent, right? Isn't that what we say?
I'm usually 6 and above, but 5.5 out of 10.
It's got 5.5 out of 10.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
For most people.
I would say that, you know, like more than 50% of the people like this movie. So
it's got a fan base for sure.
I love it. And Mudvayne is in it. Like, and I like back in like the early aughts. I hate when people say that. In the early aughts, I loved Mudvayne. I mean, I went and saw them perform. So like when there's the scene where they're like fixing the ship and like trying to get it to get back into gear because like it's not working or whatever. It just like, I just love that because it's like this loud, you know, not falling down song or whatever. Yeah, not falling music videos on here too. So
getting a little close on time. We got a couple more things we got to do.
What?
We got to show you that you know, we randomized our selection for our movies for next week. So we got to tell them what we're going to be watching for next week.
Yep.
Which through a random selection of my beautiful wife, we are watching
The Girl in the Crawl Space.
This one is, I don't know. Here, I told her not to read the plot to me because I wanted to wait and be surprised, but she said it was interesting. So
yeah, so it says after escaping from a notorious serial killer who kept her a prisoner in a crawl space, Jill tries to work her way back to normal with the help of Kristen, her therapist. But when Kristen's husband Johnny, a failing screenwriter, begins using Jill's ordeal as the basis for his new script, and he unwittingly puts all of their lives in jeopardy.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm a little,
Sketch.
Yeah, it's sketch.
And there's a scarecrow mask looking thing on the front, so I don't know what
Will that
going
show
for
up? Not likely.
Hey, does the spine have ITN on it, or am I just crazy?
It does.
Apparently, Dollar Tree's got a thing with ITN.
Yeah.
But Anyway, so that's what we're watching this week. That's what we watched, or next week. That's what we watched this week. And where can they find us on the web if they'd like to check out our...
You can go to the Newlydeads.com.
Plural.
That is Newlydeads.
It's us. We're the Newlydeads.
You can watch us on YouTube. You can all sorts of places. We're on Instagram and TikTok-y
If
and Spoonflower.
You want to find us at the end of April, stop by the Castle Chaos Multicon. I'll put the info here because we are running short on time. But you can check us out there, and we'd be happy to hang out and say hello.
Yeah. So, thank you for watching, and hopefully we will see you next week. Until then.
Keep it cheap and creepy.
Bye.
Go look after your mother and sister.
Where are you going? I'm gonna finish this.